It is the anniversary of the emancipation of the slaves in Texas, called Juneteenth. Last night in the 5 Points area, police used tear gas and dogs to disperse a large crowd. One officer was shot. There were about a dozen arrests. Police said the crowd was just too big and there was too much alcohol.
The city of Denver is sorting out what happened last night during its Juneteenth celebration, a celebration of Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. The celebration turned ugly as people threw rocks at police, and the police responded with tear gas. One policeman was shot in the arm during the fracas. The police supervisor said the violence did not result from racial tension, but from individuals acting in an unorganized manner.
Today is June 19th. In communities throughout Texas and in a number of other states, it's being celebrated by African Americans as Juneteenth. It marks an important anniversary in the struggle for black freedom.
It was on June 19, 1865, that Union General Gordon Granger landed at Galveston and announced that the state's 200,000 black slaves were free. Actually, they were already free. 2.5 years earlier, Lincoln had issued the Emancipation Proclamation, but word of it never reached Texas.
Finally tonight, several cities are marking Juneteenth, June 19th, 1865, when slaves in Texas first learned of their emancipation. The desire for freedom, which spurred many slaves to risk their lives on the Underground Railroad, has lessons for many, even scholars. ABC's Beth Nissen reports.
Writer Jacqueline Tobin was told the story after she bought a quilt from an old woman in Charleston, South Carolina, Ozella McDaniel Williams, a descendant of slaves.
She said, "Did you know that quilts were used on the Underground Railroad by slaves as communication systems? That the patterns in quilts were clues."
Today is Juneteenth, the holiday commemorating the day the last of the slaves were declared free. Today at the Capitol's Emancipation Hall, a statue was unveiled of Frederick Douglass, who escaped slavery as a young man, devoted his life to ending it, and became an advisor to the man who did, Abraham Lincoln.
Juneteenth has seen a lot of history on top of the mixed legacy of slavery and freedom that gave birth to it. This year, protest over the police killings of black Americans surrounds the day. Today, when asked about it, Vice President Pence could not bring himself to say the words, "Black Lives Matter." Instead, he used a trope you hear from counter-protesters, "All lives matter."
Yes. From Oakland to the nation's capital, where a silent crowd kneeled around the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. Today wasn't just a celebration. It was a rallying cry for change.
Juneteenth is about a celebration in part, but also understand that the best, the very best, is yet to come.
Momentum to recognize Juneteenth is growing. This week, New York and Virginia made it a paid holiday for state workers, and today bills were introduced in both the House and Senate to try to make it a national holiday. Nora?
Adriana Diaz, thank you.
A federal holiday honoring the emancipation of enslaved people is expected to soon be law. Just a short time ago, the House passed legislation by a wide bipartisan margin, a day after the Senate unanimously did the same. 14 House Republicans voted against the bill. Once President Biden signs it, June 19th will be known as Juneteenth, National Independence Day.
Finally tonight here, the images on this national holiday set to mark and honor Juneteenth, the end of slavery in the United States. Americans gathering today and over the weekend commemorating Juneteenth. Today, a parade in Knoxville, Tennessee. Vivian Shipe with a wave. In Louisville, Kentucky, Cameron Price and his sister Emery hula hooping there at the Youth Jamboree. And in Atlanta, Bridget New wearing earrings with the image of her grandmother she carries with her to this day.
Earlier today, the Honor Flight Network hosted its first ever Juneteenth Honor Flight trip to commemorate the service and sacrifice of African-American veterans. Dozens of these veterans were flown into Washington to visit sites such as the World War II and Vietnam memorials. Among the honorees, a 101-year-old veteran, 3 Purple Heart recipients, and 4 women veterans. Congratulations and thanks for your service.
97-year-old Opal Lee, known as the grandmother of Juneteenth, led her annual Walk for Freedom this morning at the African American Museum in Dallas. She wanted everyone to know and never forget that July 4th freed the land, but Juneteenth freed the people. The incredible Opal Lee. She is tonight's